And I told him, man, that's not a Pegasus. This is a Pegasus.
I wish that you had actually been talking for the whole first part of that.
No,
joke.
see, that's how summoners tell jokes.
Oh, I see. You just kind of...
We just give the punchline.
Yeah,
I'm far too busy, man, telling entire jokes.
You were just sort of miming that first bit there. It's very confusing.
It's my favorite kind of joke.
Oh, right. Well, I guess I'll get used to it. Well, I suppose we should probably introduce ourselves.
Absolutely.
Who we are.
Welcome to the Hex Center. My name is Sir Knock. I am the barkeep here at the Hex.
Sir Knock's just been climbing the ranks here. Barkeep.
Absolutely.
Anyway, let's circle on around back to that. I'm Krello. You all know me. You all love me. You were all worried that a demon would kill me last season. Hasn't happened yet.
Unfortunately.
Were we worried or were we more rooting for it?
Now, that's just hurtful, Wendy. Oh, wait, they don't know your name because nobody knows who you are. So why don't you introduce yourself?
All right then. Hello, my name is Wendy and I have come here in order to help the citizens of Throtia. That's right, you and anyone else watching this is or could become a citizen of Throtia. And I have come here, believe it or not, from the future. That's right. I'm able to travel not only between planes but between timelines.
You know, time travel is only the third weirdest thing we've seen here in the Hex, so, you know,
That's
we're all right on board.
No, believe it or not, the Hex is a very integral part of the future, as is all of our decisions, but it is crucial that these citizens of Throtia know exactly what's going on.
Exactly.
And we need to keep them informed, which is
let
why...
me help you out, everyone. Wendy showed up. She said, I'm from the future. Does that freak you out? And we're like, nah.
Yes.
I mean, we met Pleiana.
No, it totally freaks me out.
We met Pleiana, guys.
Well, yeah, Pleiana is amazing. We worship her. She is an integral part of our lives.
So, like, a time traveler is, like, that's cool.
But I'm not sold. I don't think she's actually a time traveler.
But did you not see the goggles on her forehead?
As you can tell, the goggles on the forehead are a very important indication that I am a time traveler. If I didn't have goggles, I would just be a normal person.
The goggles are very convincing. I'll give you that.
Because time is very bright.
No, it's just part of the uniform. Whenever you step into a time machine, they say you better wear these goggles. It's going to be very dangerous, but they're not very comfortable, so we always just keep them up here. It's very important. There's 2 spots on your forehead that are very important to protect. So that's why you have these goggles.
So, Wendy, I don't know if I told you this. I, too, am a time traveler.
You are?
Yeah, at the beginning of the Hex Center. It was a minute ago. And here I am.
Wow.
I suppose we are all time travelers, but let's phrase it this way.
I am not a time traveler.
Oh, you are. You are just not as good at it as I am, because I can travel. So you all are sort of like
well, that
normal,
is untrue and hurtful.
I am the Usanius Volteria of time travel. He's a fellow in this world. He's a gnome. He's known for being able to run incredibly fast, especially for a gnome.
We don't need you to tell us about Usanius Volteria, all right? That elf was a lickety-quick.
Absolutely, but what is more important is that I have come here to Hex Center and I've brought this technology that is allowing us to reach farther and farther to better, stronger citizens of Throtia. Not that the ones that we have aren't great, but we want to be able to sort of expand the borders of Throtia in a way, not in a sort of invasive kind of way, but in a new technological advancement. And by reaching out farther, we invite all kinds of new people to join us here in Throtia to learn what's going on and to help the champions that are out there working so hard to bring Throtia to peace and glory.
But here's the thing, like, if we needed to invade foreign lands to expand our borders, like, we'd do it.
I'm here to tell you I'm from the future, and that's a terrible idea, but I've come here to find another way.
Wait, does that mean we do it? This is what I was
There are
telling
many
you
timelines.
about.
I don't want to talk about it. I want to talk about the citizens of Throtia. All right? And that's why I came here. This technology from the future allows us to reach out to all kinds of people and inform them. And I've said that about 3 different ways. I can't find another way of saying it again and rephrasing it.
All right, everyone. Since Wendy's being so unclear, let me explain what the Hex Center is. We want to reach all the citizens of Throtia by force or otherwise.
It's more of an invitation.
An invitation to survive our wrath when we come marching across your borders and make you citizens of Throtia.
Yes, you can be made a citizen of Throtia by participating with us. but this is just, of course, an invitation because we need your help. Not only do you need to be informed, but the citizens can help any champions that are participating in the adventures in the Hex.
Absolutely. The presence of citizens of Throcia is so vital to what we do here at the Hex.
Well, here's the thing. We have this technology and we have each other, but we are lacking in citizens.
Oh my goodness.
What?
Oh my goodness. One of the citizens has reached out to us with
works.
an urgent,
It works.
An urgent
I
question.
have brought the greatest technology in all of the world.
You did the thing.
I
You did the thing.
I know
You
it did because I'm
accomplished
from
it.
the future and I knew it was going to work.
Here comes the question.
What's the question?
From L.N. Wheeler. I had poor vision, apparently. And the question is, where is Throcia? What is Throcia? And how do I become a citizen? At the tip of a blade, L.N. Wheeler.
No. This is a very friendly, this is an open, this is a safe space.
That's on me. That's my bad.
Let's answer this question.
Put simply, Throcia is here. Throcia is where we live. It is where we are broadcasting from right now. Throcia is a peaceful land of prosperity, full of diverse peoples. It's full of magical beasts and occurrences. And it's had its fair share of troubles and tragedies, but it continues to thrive.
Yeah, Throcia is a world where all kinds of, as you've said, magical creatures exist, but all kinds of evil as well, which is why we have these champions and these heroes that go out and go on such great adventures. And the Hex Center is where we talk about these adventures. We're in the Hex Tavern right now, and we're able to talk to all of you. Now, should we talk a bit about the Hex Tavern and the sort of special nature of it? It's sort of in two places, if you will.
Yeah, and that's the where is Throcia is kind of tricksy, right? Because on the one hand, Throcia is here. It's where we are, where all these things you've been referring to take place. And in another very literal way, it's in Provo, Utah, down on 3rd West, right? 3rd West. I did it correctly. Sorry, human addresses are tough for me.
They are very difficult.
And so
normally you just say it's by the big tree, and everyone knows.
Exactly. Well, when you're an immortal being, we're in no hurry. And hey, Vakadon, I see your question. We'll come to you.
Oh, we are going to get
has
to
it
it.
coming. Yeah, so you can come on down. Oh, just you white. That was a windyism.
It's windy. It's not windy. It's windy.
Windy.
No, you're saying windy, and it's windy.
So on Friday or Saturday night, come on down here at 6 o'clock. 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
Wow,
Mountain and Throtian time, they line up. It's a real coincidence.
It's actually a very interesting thing in the time continuum. Throcia and Provo, Utah cross over. Why don't we get to that question and then we can answer a bit more about.
Hey, Cernak, hasn't exactly been a peaceful decade, said Vakadon.
Oh, Vakadon.
It has not.
He just cast the spell Shade right at you, Cernak.
It hasn't been a peaceful decade. But like I said, Throcia has had its difficulties. So here at the Hex houses an incredibly important body known as the Hexant.
Mine. Oh.
Which protects Throcia, which helps establish order and peace with the use of 5 clans. The clans are Aria, Krieg, Talum, Veneda, and Malthior. Now, a few years ago, the guardian of Clan Malthior turned against the others, planning to use 2 artifacts known as the Eyes of Pleiana to remake Throcia in his own image. Of course, this would have led to innumerable deaths.
Because he wasn't me. He would have done it wrong.
We're going to get to that conflict in a second.
Really, anybody who thinks that they can wield that kind of power is...
Any mortal who thinks that I'm immortal.
Yes, you are a wonderful, immortal, wonderful being. Have I tipped that for you? Have I filled your ego cup enough that we can answer this question?
My ego cup is bottomless.
Right.
Yeah, you don't want to touch his ego cup. Anyway, so Ulthior, The guardian of Clan Malthior at the time turned against the other clans, and together the other 4 clans banded together to capture him before he was able to really destroy all of the world that we know.
Destroy all of the world.
Now, that wasn't Malthior himself, right? That was Ulthior?
Ulthior, yes. So each of these clans was founded back at the very creation of Throcia. Pleiana, the goddess that we worship, created this land and appointed those 5 original guardians, for which the clans are named, to protect it, to keep things peaceful and orderly. And so
And
Malthior,
so far they've done a bang-up job.
I see you were with the rebellion. You are a part of Kesukara. Are we going to get to that in a second?
Yeah, we should jump into Kesukara because the Guardians did such a great job with Malthior, which is why everything was fixed.
Well, first of all, we have to be careful because it is the clan of Malthior, but it was their current leader, Ulthior, who went off the rails with the Eyes of Pleiana. As Sir Nox said, they got that back. However, as someone who's gone back and forward in time, Clan Malthior has been both a saviour and a demon to the people, and all the other clans have often been led astray by their own intentions, which is why it's very interesting that Clan Malthior, I mean, we'll probably get to this in a bit, but spoiler alert, Clan Malthior has found a seat at the Hex Tavern and is going to be helping our champions coming up in the endeavours that they have.
It was pretty compelling because when the clan leaders, when the Guardians took Malthior to task and said, how do you explain yourself? Malthior said, well, from my point of view, the Hex is evil. And they're like, oh, we didn't consider it that way. And so, having then received that explanation, Malthior was welcomed back with open arms.
not quite.
Ah!
However,
I'd love to see you know, just recap everything wrong. Is that what this program is about? Sorry, you keep trying to talk, and we're just here to interrupt
Look, what
you.
I said was true from a certain point of view.
Fair enough. All right, go ahead, Sir Nock. I'm so sorry.
I suppose. Yes, so
Ulthior.
Ulthior rebelled against the other clans, and so for a time, Malthior, the clan, was disbanded completely. During his betrayal, a lot of destruction was wreaked on Throcia. Many lives were lost. And a lot of people saw it as a failure of the other remaining 4 clans that such a tragedy was incurred.
Vakadon would like to interpose his or her will here and ask you what ruling, do we know what ruling of the Hexen it was that drove Ulthior to betray the other clans? I didn't know it was based on a ruling.
They keep a lot of that very private.
I was still mortal back then.
It was. I believe that Ulthior had already set his sights on the Eyes of Pleiana, those artifacts which he was trying to use to reform the continent. He believed that they could be used to fix some of the problems that he perceived in the world as he knew it.
Here's the thing, though. When someone has bad intent in their heart, it's not going to take a lot to set them off in that direction. You know, if you already have your eyes on the Eyes of Pleiana, for example, and you're looking for an excuse, it's only going to take anything. It could have been one ruling, it could have been any ruling. So it probably was that he was just looking for an excuse to go off and fetch the Eyes of Pleiana and act out his plan.
But if we're really welcoming Malthior back into the Hex here as a clan, then I think we need to necessarily find some nuance in Ulthior's stance here. I mean, we can say, oh, you had bad intent, therefore everything went higgledy-piggledy, but let's remember, he only got the job half done. Like, perhaps he did have this beautiful paradisiacal view of what the future could look like, but then we intervened, right? There's always complexity. Surely Ulthior didn't think he was the villain of his own story.
I don't think so, but you also have someone like Kesukara, who thought, oh, here are the clans, and they did this, you know, they didn't do such a great job. I mean, I think that they probably did a fine job, but often heroes are blamed for the destruction that is around them, the destruction that they're trying to stop. And Kesukara probably had a very similar kind of view, and yet he used it to create a revolution that toppled the government that was there, and it created a terrible, you know, secret police. It was just riding the streets. It was he was not good for the citizens of Throcia, and you could have called that peace, except that he was also, you know, putting people under his thumb. And is it...
So let's specify real quick.
Fair enough.
Before we specify that, I do want to address a couple horrific things our citizens are saying, and then you can say whatever you want to Windy.
Do we want to know the horrific things the citizens
Admiral
are saying?
Snackbar says, oh, that Krello, if he drops another Star Wars reference, I'm going to make him start paying nickels to Mickey Mouse. And I'd just like to say to you, Admiral Snackbar, come and take him.
I don't know what any of those words mean.
Yeah, well, once you learn to be an
nickel?
immortal summoner, a nickel is a type of metal, and I assumed that they wanted me to give like slugs of nickel to them. I assume this is currency in their warped view of the world.
I see. Well,
Nicholas Lives says, hey there, or I'm sorry, Nicholas Lives. That's quite obviously Nicholas Lives. Hi, Nicholas. And then Ellen Wheeler wants to influence the game. We're going to come back to that, Ellen Wheeler, I promise. I just don't want Cernok to kill me.
Yes.
Cool,
So,
okay, and then the rest of the questions have been addressed. Back to you.
Otheor's betrayal caused a lot of death, a lot of tragedy. A lot of people blamed the Hexant.
Not
And
entirely wrongly.
Chief among them was a man named Kesukara. Kesukara was the leader of an agricultural guild, and he rallied these reapers, as they were called, to rebel against the Hexant. He formed kind of a populist movement in Throcia against the Hexant, and the power of the Hexant was more or less completely dissolved. They were able to reform and regain the power of the original founders of the Hex. And in this process, it was revealed that Kesukara had really much more dubious intentions. He was really out to get rid of all magical influence in Throcia, which...
Well, and he had such a broad definition of magical influence. He included, like, what he called magical races. Like,
That's true. Dwarves, elves were,
Well-
you know, he was committing mass hypnosis, mass hysteria, and even mass slaughtering.
He was doing all kinds of terrible things, but luckily we had the heroes here in the Hex who went out and got everything they needed in order to defeat him. Now, we are in need of heroes again, and to use a cheeky little word called season, we have had 2 adventures so far, or seasons if you will, and we are about to have another one. We are in need of heroes again, and we have all kinds of new things that are going to be happening in this new adventure, in this new season. For example, we have all kinds of, previously they have used certain dice towers, but we actually have very brand new, spanking new, beautiful dice towers that have all kinds of very fine craftsmanship. If you want to see these used, you will have to tune in to this new season, or new adventure if you will, and you get to see all these kinds of things. We have all the new symbols for all the clans that are going to be coming in, including this symbol for the clan Malthior. Now, we are having a returning hero. No, the reason I'm saying hero is because Delia is a returning hero, and she was a favourite amongst many. Of course, you were her guardian. Can you tell us a little bit about Delia?
Before we jump into that, I just want to cut off Cernok one more time to address a few more of our citizens.
Well, can we get back to that? I really want to talk about Delia.
Oh, we can talk about her, but you know what, Vakanon?
Right.
He defined magical race as non-human, pretty much. I think Kesukara included all non-humans.
Pretty much.
Magical races, it was arbitrary. He was a racist. And then Nicholas Lives, we are going to address how you can see the recap of the other seasons a little bit later in the show. Now let's jump into Delia. Excuse me, let's talk about Delia.
Delia is a young dragonborn. She grew up in the mountains of Throcia's northern ridge. She is a white dragonborn.
We actually are going to have we're going to have a clip about Delia. There we go.
Oh yeah, you can learn all about Delia here.
Hail, traveler, and welcome to the Hex. Sit down, rest your feet. I've got a tale to tell I think you'll want to hear. Delia of Zarzithixin was born and raised in a tiny mountain village high in the mountains of Throcia's northern ridge. She's the eldest of 4 children born to her mother, Kava, and her father, Rogar. Known far and wide as the double-edged sword, Rogar was one of the greatest warriors to ever belong to Clan Aria. For every adventure he embarked on, Delia cherished his return, the tales he would tell and the songs he would sing. One day, however, during Kesukara's rise to power, Rogar left home and never came back. Eager to follow in her father's footsteps, Delia began the path of the paladin, learning swordplay and divine magic to protect her family, then the Hex, then all of Throcia. Her father's warrior blood flowed strong in her veins, and it didn't take long for her to become the youngest champion in Aria's history at only 10 years old, which translates to about 14 in human years. Delia is better known for her other strengths, however. Her reputation is built on her preference to make allies, not enemies, the sacrifices she makes to support her fellow champions, and her ability to meet every challenge with her signature broad, genuine smile. She wore the same smile as she exposed and dethroned Kesukara, ridding Throcia of his lies and corruption. Returning home after such a feat was hard for Delia. She had seen worlds so far beyond her little mountain village, and it became difficult for her to relate to her peers. Even when she was allowed to return to the Temple of Pleiana to train with the other champions of Aria, she began to feel more alone as one by one, the other champions were called to repel the demons that had invaded Throcia in the wake of Kesukara's machinations. At last, Delia has been called back to the Hex, and though she doesn't yet know what she'll face, you can be certain that she'll face it with a smile.
Hey, Dooger-Doo. There's not really a chart of the clans as such.
We're going to go through all of these. So this is Delia. So I just know that we have we're going to get to all of your questions in just a second, but we would love to talk about all of our upcoming champions. We have all kinds of information about them. So you were just talking about Delia. Tell us a little bit more about her.
Well, Delia is really a force to be reckoned with. She is a paladin, and so she makes, like that little interlude said, she makes use of both an incredibly powerful sword arm and divine magic.
And she was quite a citizen favourite in the previous season. She is very young and has quite a good heart. I think it has won many of the hearts of those who have watched her fight.
Oh yes, she's delightful to watch at work. There was even a time where, confronted with a small army of hobgoblins, she befriended them all. They were ready to cut her down where she stood, but instead she made a bunch of friends.
All right.
And they went out for stew afterwards.
The mechanical breakdown of Delia, there's a lot to get into with her, but perhaps the most fascinating part of her is she's trained in intimidation.
That's correct.
I can't wait to see what intimidating Delia looks like.
Well,
maybe like, you're a meaty pants.
Oh, here's the thing.
Well, she's grown up a little bit. Whereas before, you know, she had kind of a childlike disposition. She's very much a teenager now, which
teenagers
for
are
any
very
parents
intimidating.
out there,
Absolutely.
very intimidating.
Yeah,
That'll do it.
Well, I want to learn all about our other champions. So, representing, I believe it is Clan Venida, we have Hemlock. Let's learn about Hemlock.
Hail, traveler, and welcome to the Hex. Sit down, rest your feet. I've got a tale to tell I think you'll want to hear. Today I tell the tale of the great wizard Hemlock. His story begins many centuries ago on a hilltop outside the village of Everton. There, a lone ancient hemlock tree was struck by lightning during a midsummer squall. A curious noise was heard afterward, and the villagers ventured out to find two healthy baby boys nestled in the hollow of the tree. They named one Hemlock, for the tree in which he was born, and the other Nimzog, the word for lightning in an ancient tongue. The two boys shared an affinity for magic, and together they grew in power and ambition. They were inseparable, living as brothers and confidants. Together they journeyed to the University of Magic at Fallholt to study, and together they traveled all of Throcia, using their magic for good, folly, and fame. The Hex was eager to recruit them, and Hemlock pledged his service to Clan Venida, while Nimzog joined Clan Malthior, long before the traitor Ulthior was born. The brothers saw each other less and less as they fulfilled their duties as champions all over Throcia. Eventually, Hemlock learned that Nimzog had secluded himself to focus on some new project, the details of which he had not revealed to anyone. Hemlock found him in a hut near the lightning-scarred tree where they had been found as infants, and the stench of nefarious magic hung in the air like a haze. Nimzog had learned to exercise complete control over the minds of dozens of people at once, and had used this power to enslave all of nearby Everton. Hemlock knew Nimzog had to be stopped before he could spread his influence further. The magical duel that followed was great and terrible. The earth shook, the sky roared with thunder, and the air sparked with explosions of arcane energy. The battle ended as Nimzog trapped Hemlock's form inside the scarred tree from whence they came, and Nimzog himself apparently disappearing, as nothing had been spoken or recorded of him since. Just 2 years ago, on the 400th anniversary of his imprisonment, lightning struck that fateful tree again, freeing Hemlock into a futuristic world plagued by a demonic incursion. He occasionally struggles to adapt to new customs, language, and technology, but neither his intellect nor his power have dulled during his slumber. He has returned to Clan Veneda, so that all of Throsia may know its greatest wizard once again.
Let's talk about Throsia's greatest wizard here. As you would expect, he has Lightning Bolt in his repertoire of spells. Lightning is very important to who he is and his past. I find it interesting to see that he's been dabbling a little bit with necromancy here, with his vampiric touch, with his false life. And I can't help but wonder, what's going on in that little noggin of his?
Well, I suppose we'll have to find out. I mean, I'm not trying to say it is because he is older in persuasion, but it does seem to be that he has a little bit of trouble keeping up socially, being a bit out of time, or something I'm a bit used to. It does take some getting used to Hemlock, but I'm sure you'll get the hang of it eventually.
Well, and that's, in terms of people to get the hang of, he's also, I mean, look, he's a wizard, he's a bit more of a generalist, so some of this is to be expected. But you see, he's also invested quite a bit in illusion magic.
I see.
Which you're talking about his elderly disposition. I don't know, I think there might be something to this. Maybe he wants to live forever.
Perhaps. I mean, it is difficult. I don't know if he'll be the greatest wizard of all time for long, seeing as he only has an armor class of 11. Of 11. So let's talk about a very squishy wizard, if we will.
Well,
mage armor.
Yeah, that really isn't really out of the ordinary for your average wizard.
I know, but it always makes me very nervous.
But when he does use mage armor, that brings it up to a 14, which would actually...
that's respectable. That's rogue range.
Yeah,
that's medium armor
for our
range.
first wave of champions, I think that would make him second.
The most expendable
for the
wave.
ones that we don't mind, just getting locked off. All right. How about we answer a couple of questions very quickly?
Yes, thank you. I was distracted by character sheets. Also, Sir Nock just referenced waves. We'll come back to that.
I have a question here on the Facebook chat. Capelia asks, why is Clan Malthael back? We did cover that a little bit, but my understanding is that with the challenges that are coming up and with the need for champions, we are inviting Clan Malthael back as a way of proving themselves. And Clan Malthael has a very familiar champion who we will talk about in a little bit. But my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, Sir Nock, of course you are from this timeline, is that Malthael's clan has been invited back as a way of proving themselves and offering the insight that they have. Each clan has a very special set of skills and thing that they bring to the hexagonal table, if you will. And so,
what could go wrong?
I mean, lots of things, but what could go better by having 5 representatives instead of just 4?
It's true. The Clan Malthael brings a certain objectivity, a certain ambition, and really a unique level of intellect that we were missing here at the Hex. Now, having been through the betrayal of Ulthior myself, having fought him, it was difficult for me to come around to seeing how we needed them back. But as a matter of fact, I've come to realize that Malthael does have something to offer, and I sincerely hope that they will prove themselves throughout this next adventure.
Now, citizens, I know the very first question that came into your head when you learned Malthael was coming back was, who's going to be the edgy clan, right? Veneda feels like they're getting pushed out. Well, don't worry. As Sir Nock talked about, and we've talked about this a little bit, Malthael isn't about being an edgelord, even though that's That's kind of where we're coming from here. Veneda is still the edgy clan, okay? They're okay. Veneda will be fine. Malthior's the nerds.
I suppose...
Fair summary, right?
That's one way of putting it.
It's one way of putting it. Veneda wears the eyeliner, Malthior wears the spectacles.
Hey, that was good. You're not bad for a future jaunter.
I have a lot more knowledge on my side because in the future we have a lot more history. No, speaking of Malthior... Speaking of Malthior, there is a very special... Oh, shit, it was me, Malthior, the whole time.
Whoa,
we have a very special representative who is leading Clan Malthior. It is actually a very familiar face for those of you who have seen our first season or adventure here on Into the Hex. Let's take a look at someone named Giacomo Palazzo.
Hail, traveler, and welcome to the Hex. Sit down, rest your feet. I've got a tale to tell, and I think you'll want to hear. Giacomo Palazzo is the man, the myth, the mystery behind an innumerable number of names and faces. Giacomo was born Alexander Hush, the illegitimate son of a Fallholt aristocratic nobleman and a lowly elvish bard. His mother died of illness while he was still a young man, and it was on her deathbed that Alexander's mother revealed the identity of his father. Alexander then revealed himself to his wealthy father, who rejected him outright. Enraged, Alexander robbed his father's estate of gold, spellbooks, and some things that cannot be returned. Armed with a broken heart and a magical arsenal, Alexander shed his old name and face, taking upon himself the name Giacomo Palazzo, and building an empire of criminal syndicates across the underworld of Throcia. To some, he was known as the Octopus, in reference to his ability to carry out crimes using borrowed faces, as well as his tentacles reaching every dark corner of the land. It was then, at the height of his power in the world of crime, that Clan Veneda hired him to assist in their efforts to recover the Eyes of Pleiana. In the wake of his triumph over Ulthior, Giacomo found that those who remained faithful to the defunct Clan Malthior were working hard to hunt him down. That, combined with Kesukara's indictment of the clans, forced Giacomo into hiding. There, he found Lunan, an elven bard who lived deep in the free forest. The two shared a curious kinship, and Giacomo found himself opening up to the minstrel hermit. Lunan showed him compassion, singing songs that honored his late mother and expressed hope for Giacomo's future. Their time together was cut short by Kesukara's forces invading the forest to harvest enchanted wood. Lunan was mortally wounded, and Giacomo vowed to honor him by returning to the Hex with Lunan's name and face so that all of Throcia would remember him. Giacomo was ejected from Clan Talon as soon as Marie Caliadne discovered his true identity, but Galavor had different plans for him. You see, Pleiana herself organized the Hexant with 5 clans and 1 Hexmaster, a structure which held strong for centuries. Clan Malthior was occasionally maligned for being too cold and unfeeling, or for letting their ambition carry them too far, but no more than Arya could be faulted for being blinded by faith, Krieg for loving conflict, or Veneda for keeping secrets. Just 8 years in Throcia's past, the current guardian of Clan Malthior allowed his pride and ambition to motivate him to turn his clan against the others, and for a time the Hexant believed that they were better off without Clan Malthior. Since the fall of Kesukara, however, the remaining 4 clans have begun to acknowledge the void left by the Hexant's 5th clan. Cautiously, the Hexant has begun recruiting champions back to Clan Malthior, so that Throcia may again benefit from its objectivity and innovative spirit. Giacomo was found to possess the intellect, ambition, and calm objectivity the reformed Clan Malthior needed among its champions. After wandering so long, the Octopus has never felt so at home.
Okay, he was pretty edgy then.
Look, just because you're in Clan Malthior doesn't mean you can't be edgy. Look, Veneda isn't about being edgy, though they tend to have that exterior, although we've seen that all kinds of representatives have been in every single clan. And so, it only means that the clan is going to find the people that have that deep spark within them that truly represents. I mean, just because Giacomo was able to represent Veneda at one point doesn't mean that he doesn't have what it takes, or maybe hasn't developed in the meantime the thing that allows him to represent Clan Malthior. Let's take a look at his stats a little bit and talk about what he has to offer.
So there's a couple things that are interesting going on with Giacomo. This actually will help clue in some of our more Dungeons and Dragons oriented viewers. Giacomo has Mage Hand, Minor Illusion, Chill Touch, and Sculptor of Self. And I know what you're thinking, oh, he's an arcane trickster. He's not. We don't have arcane tricksters in the Hex. We have Malthior rogues. That's right. our own custom subclasses that you will learn all about through the Hex Center, through our show. It's this new thing, it's amazing, and it's all ours. Mwahahaha.
It's true. While he has access to a handful of cantrips and a couple of other magical effects that mimic spells, that's really it.
Yeah.
We also have, just to interrupt a little bit, speaking of some members, we have a couple questions. So it's the same person rewriting, so are there any clan favourites or favourite clans, I suppose we should say. But let's answer both. So do you lot have a favourite clan, and if so, do you have a favourite member of that clan that has been represented throughout our adventures? And I'm curious if your favourite, let's say this again, your favourite champion, your favourite clan, and I'm curious if they're the same. Do I need to say that one more time? I feel like I do.
I followed
so,
perfectly.
what is your favourite clan, and what is your favourite champion from the history? And then, you tell me, so I'll ask you what is your favourite clan, and then you will tell me your favourite clan. So is that clear?
Yes.
So I will ask the question, what is your favourite clan? For example, so that is what I would ask you. And then you would answer. So when you were done answering, then I will ask you, who is your favourite champion from our history?
Okay.
And then when you've answered that,
I think we understand the parameters.
All right.
Yes.
Do we want to review it one more time, though?
No,
so who is your favourite
I
clan?
agree to your terms.
And who is your favourite champion? So,
all right.
Who is your favourite clan?
Well, in my preparation...
I wonder what he'll say.
In my preparation for my role as barkeep, I have gained an appreciation for all 5 clans, as I mentioned.
5 clans?
But my heart belongs to Arya.
What?
Of course. So if you have to pick one that is not Arya, what would it be?
Oh, goodness. Probably Krieg. I admire how far the clan has come as far as teaching honor and triumph and courage, as opposed to just warmongering, which that has been a part of their history. But like I said, they've come a long way.
And as we can say, I mean, lots of people have terrible things to say about Clan Malthael, but as you've said in the past, Krieg has been just nothing but violence. Speaking of Krieg, we have yet to talk about who is representing Krieg coming up in our next adventure. Should we talk about that?
Maybe.
It's very surprising. First, I want to hear what his favorite clan is.
Oh, that's right.
Well,
Then
here's
we can
the
get to
thing.
that.
I was so glad when we were about to skip it, because mine is the weighty duty of making sure all the clans are punished equally. Of course, I can't
Oh, the
declare a
weighty
favorite.
duty.
Yeah,
I thought you were just saying weighty duty, like
Weighty
some
duty.
nonsense word.
Yeah, that's a Throtian accent, all
I
right?
got it.
You're in Throtia, speak Throtian. And so, the thing is, I can't be showing favoritism to clans. Everyone knows that in my detailed backstory when I was immortal... Oh,
Where's she
you go
going?
Did you go back to the future?
No, sorry. Yes, I went back.
How
I went
many
to the
years
future,
has it been since
and
you've
in
seen
the
that?
future, you're still a butthead. Keep going.
But I'm an alive butthead, and you know what? That's what sets me apart. As I was saying, back when I was mortal, I was a member of a clan. Of course, I would never disclose which one, Clan Krello. And, but no, I find them all equally contemptible. Admiral Stackbar, just because I happen to look at my screen at this moment, like Samwell Stewpot.
Oh.
And that was, to my knowledge, the only instance we've had of cannibalism, so sure.
At least that we have known of. I mean, I suppose people can be very
all the
secretive.
recorded cannibalism in the Hex. Of course, there's tons of cannibalism in Throtia.
Samwell was absolutely a very honourable and excellent fighter, and for a cannibal was pretty, I'd say, reserved in that. So we have all said our favourite, or you
The
said your
Hexmaster. The
favourite.
Hexmaster is my favorite clan.
You're covering your bases there.
He's one of the few people who can kill me that I'm pretty sure can kill me.
Yeah,
I see.
That's
Well,
true.
my
That tracks.
favourite clan is Clan Malthael, not for what they have done now, but what they will do in the future.
Whoa! See, that's unfair. You can't put...
I'm
Are
not
you
going to spoil it for
Play
Are
you.
you allowed to
time
say things
traveler
like that?
card.
I absolutely am. Now, here's the thing: is that of course timelines change. Now, of course, your favourite clan being Krieg. I would like to get back to what I was saying earlier, and let's talk about who is representing clan.
Let's do
Krieg.
it. Let's learn about that Krieg.
So, another returning. Oh.
Hail, traveler, and welcome to the Hex. Sit down, rest your feet. I've got a tale to tell I think you'll want to hear. Today's tale of triumph and defeat will surely be told for many years to come, for it is the tale of Onan, Splitter of Skulls, Guardian of Clan Krieg. Onan guided and protected his champions throughout the struggle for the Eyes of Pleiana, making a name for himself and his clan throughout all of Throcia. Not everyone cheered his success, however. As Kesukara began his campaign against the clans, he knew Onan would be a major obstacle unless he could make public Onan's defeat. Kesukara gathered his forces to strike against the Hex for the first time, but alas, it was a coward's deception. The battle was merely a distraction for Onan and his forces, while Kesukara's Reapers captured his wife and son while he was away. Kesukara demanded his surrender in exchange for the lives of his family, and while Onan agreed, allowing himself to be captured, Kesukara failed to keep his end of the bargain. Onan endured endless torture and magical experimentation in Kesukara's most secret dungeon over the next year. Kept at the brink of death for so long, his body became as broken and scarred as his heart. When the champions of the Hex dethroned Kesukara, no one knew to free Onan, as all believed he was dead. Weak and abandoned, Onan called out with his last fading breath to Krieg, the guardian he had devoted his life to. Krieg responded in kind, binding their souls in the pact of a warlock to endow Onan with new magical power. Onan broke his bonds and escaped the hidden dungeon to make his triumphant return to the Hex. He may not be the skull-splitting guardian he once was, but he stands as a testimony to all of Throcia that there is more to Krieg's strength than battles or blades.
I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, that guy looks familiar, like a well-known protagonist I've seen before. That's right. He is Onan from the first season. See what I did? That was pretty clever.
That was very clever.
Thank you.
Not only is he from our very first adventure, he was guardian of the clan that won our very first adventure. Let's bring that over
Pleiana just
here.
dropped by and handed me this trophy a second ago. That was amazing.
Well,
like I said, she's just kind of around.
Worked hard for this.
You
Heaviest
all said that it was so special that you had met Pleiana, but apparently she comes by all the time. As we can see here, Krieg was...
Sir Knock.
No, it's right here.
Sir Knock is not in this thing anymore. We're very disappointed with his performance. He's just gone.
He died. A large trophy fell on him.
Now, Krieg is, as I think you were about to say, and being a time traveler, is our two-time winner of being just the best clan. Just we appreciate them saving the world slightly more than the other clans. But hey, who made that decision? The citizens of Throcia!
That's absolutely
It all connects.
Oh, the handles are so far forward.
And it's so heavy, right?
It's really not that bad.
It's 1,000 pounds. Maybe people are just stronger in the future.
I think if I leave this here, no one's going to see my face. Keep talking.
Get that thing out of here. We can't be covering our beautiful... Oh boy, I'm scared now.
Oh,
It'll be fine, right? It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'll take it over here.
The last person to touch it was Windy. Anyway, I don't want Onan to get lost in the mix here, because Onan is actually another fascinating case of a character we have. Onan is a warlock, and as several citizens of Throcia pointed out last season, and that I myself talked to Pleiana about, warlocks are at an interesting disadvantage in the way the Hex goes, because our heroes tend to be moving so quickly and so aggressively toward their goals. There's so little time that we've actually never seen a short or long rest on the show, unless I'm making a mistake.
It's true.
Yeah, and so warlocks, as our learned, shall I say, mouthiors know, the reason they are competitive with wizards is because they get their spells refreshed on a short rest. And so that's part of what inspired this, excuse me, that's part of what inspired
He gets
really
very emotional
about warlocks, yeah.
I knew he was going to say that because I'm from the future.
Nice. And so that's part of what inspired us to do these custom classes. We sort of gave warlocks some additional toys to help sort of steady them out against wizards, which basically in every other way were outperforming them in the past.
Yes, the way that we play, to be very frank about it, the way that we dungeon our dragons here is very different than the way that other people might in their own adventures at home. We're in such a need and rush to get to the end of our adventure sometimes that we don't always have the nuances that a lot of other people might when they participate.
Okay, wait a second. I'm seeing armor class 12, but I'm not seeing... Oh, it might not be an SRD spell.
He is stuck at 12.
No armor of any forgotten beings or anything.
Nope.
Because you can't do that.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about.
He's gonna die!
No.
He's gonna die!
Onin will never die. Didn't you see he was chained
possibility.
up? But
There's a
Onin...
distinct possibility he's gonna
Onin
die.
is going
There's
to
a possibility that any of our champions
Absolutely.
die. They are risking their lives for this wonderful country of ours.
I don't think that anyone's going to die because they're all working together. And Onin is going to have the protection of those in the other clans, especially the protection of someone, well, not especially, I suppose, but one last member of our clans we have not discussed. The represented...
What are you talking about? We've already discussed 4 champions.
No, there's 5 because of Malthior. That's right.
I was being the cabbage head. I was the audience stand-in.
We need to talk about Clan Talon. Let's roll that clip.
Yeah, it's cabbage.
Hail, traveler, and welcome to the Hex. Sit down, rest your feet. I've got a tale to tell I think you'll want to hear. Andrea's tale doesn't start like most heroes. She had no warrior blood, no dreams of glory, no star-crossed tragedy. All Andrea was born with was a gift for movement, for dance. When Andrea's ears heard music, her heart bloomed with an energy that could not be contained. And so at the tender age of 4, she began training to be a dancer. And by the age of 15, she was offered an opportunity to dance with a prestigious ballet company as they toured Throsia as part of Pleiona's pilgrimage, a roving celebration of the making that traveled from Sadalani to Falholt and then back down to Asmarin. Andrea delighted in meeting new people and learning of new cultures and customs as she traveled and performed. But she also learned that everywhere she went, there were men with black hearts, waiting to take advantage of young, naive women like herself. She never came to serious harm, but fear gripped her once carefree heart, and she could dance no more. Andrea's parents, desperate to revive her once lively spirit, sent her to an all-female monastery, famous for healing the mind, body, and soul. As Andrea meditated and trained as a monk, she began to change. Fear and anxiety became courage and drive, and pain became power. Andrea returned to the stage, where she blended the passion of dance with the power of martial arts, dazzling all who saw her perform. She used her new fame to bring a message, to teach all the young women who felt hopeless and small that they too were full of power. Her performance and message resonated with the Guardian of Talon, who invited Andrea to join her clan and use her power to protect all of Throsia.
Okay, this is another instance where I'm actually enormously proud of our subclass here. A lot of this comes from the work of Sir Nock working with Pleiona and the rules of the universe. But Sir Nock, I would love it if you could take us through what I think is one of the best designed subclasses I've ever seen, and talking about the form of combat that Andrea. Oh no, I wasn't even listening. Andrea has that we call a battle ballet. So if you take us through some of these here.
Yeah, so one of the features that she gets from her battle ballet is called On Point. It allows her to move through difficult terrain with no difficulty at all.
Undifficult terrain.
Another one is called, the pirouette. Yes, it's really amazing how complementary these classical dance style and the martial arts of the monk are.
Have you seen ballerinas? They've got some of the strongest feet in the whole world.
Right?
Yes. The conditioning required for both is, like
literally
I said, very
will break
complementary.
themselves to learn.
They're indiscernible.
But the
Martial
pirouette
arts.
allows her to spin around so rapidly, allowing her to attack many enemies at once. And of course, my favorite, the Pas de Deux.
How dare you? How dare you? I'll kill you where you stand. Pas de deux.
That.
It's not Pas de Deux, it's Pas de Deux.
However you pronounce it.
And in my accent, it's Ploch de deux.
It allows her to enchant an enemy into only targeting her for a time.
Because their dancing is so enchanting. I'm so excited to see him play. I'm going to really feel terrible when I kill her in the first
So
combat.
essentially she comes up and says, you're going to be my dance partner and my dance partner
Ooh,
only.
I like that.
More or less.
Okay, so she's going to go up to the bad guy,
More of like a body
right?
language thing.
She's going to go up to the bad guy, and she's going to, oh, I'm not even on the screen. That's okay, you can imagine. She'll go, and they'll be like, whoa, tell me what you want. And that's it.
Yep, that's exactly how it goes. I think that, whenever she does that move, you are going to need to rush onto stage and demonstrate it so we understand, what's going on.
Okay, hold on. Okay.
It's
Back
more
on us.
charming when she does it.
Behold, pas de deux. I'm do it exactly as well as the ballerina.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. That is, yes.
This keeps going. I'm only halfway
I feel
done.
inspired.
You can see how that's effective in combat.
I feel very inspired to just fight you right now. I just want to go.
That's what I was going for. I
you.
did it.
Excellent.
That's
Hey,
the
Beard Kenobi,
effectiveness.
you know what? I agree with you on the glass cannon. I'm sorry, Beard Kenobi says, feeling AC of 12 makes Onan an interesting glass cannon. Is he going to be a melee warlock? And that's honestly a fascinating question to me. Now, as a warlock, he's got Eldritch Blast, and so that should be a good way to keep his distance. But frankly, at AC 12, he has to be a ranged fighter. Like, if he gets into melee, he's going to get wrecked.
Absolutely. We talked about Hemlock, how he starts out at 11, but with mage armor goes up to 14. But Onan is stuck at 12. And so in the training that we've done, he has adapted to being a ranged fighter.
Well, and you saw him actually
hello.
wielding an axe. Oh, we're under attack.
Hi there, mate.
Oh.
Figured you could use a bit.
Yes, this is
Playing the Veneta
we were
cards.
just talking about you earlier. This is the very own Giacomo Palazzo.
In the flesh,
Pleased to meet you.
I think.
Oh,
It's always hard to tell with Jackano whether or not he's actually here in the flesh.
There she is,
We're
yes.
super glad to see you. Let me pull up, make sure no one. Okay, if anyone has any questions for Giacomo, this is the time.
yes, absolutely.
So, how do you feel about edging in on Veneta's edgy?
Well, you know, I learned a lot in my experience with Veneta. Really did appreciate them. They brought out the best in me, my true colours, as it were. But I feel like the world is meant to be experienced from a great deal of perspective. So that's why I enjoyed my time with Talum, and I will enjoy my time with Malthael. But Veneta will always hold a special place in my heart.
What would you say is one of the more important tenets of Malthael? Not that you can speak for all of them, but you are their representative. So if someone were to say, hey, what's the deal with Malthael? What are they about? What would be your sort of summation of it?
Resourcefulness. That's what attracted me to them in the first place. You have to be resourceful, and you have to recognise that sometimes doing something for the greater good means saving your own skin, and also it means making a sacrifice for knowledge. Tying yourself to that post where your crew takes you through the danger.
Right, so let's say we've got a train car and it's going down a track and there's 3 people on that track, but if you flip the switch, it's going to go the other way and it will kill 3 people, but those people are sort of jerks. What would Clan Malthael do?
Clan Malthael, well, it all kind of depends on what's on the train. You know, I might just jump off the train and let whatever happens, because, you know, that's life, isn't it? But I do believe that sometimes you need to eat the rude. If they are jerks, perhaps they deserve what's coming to them.
Interesting.
That's roughly the Malthael logic I'd be expecting. So, you know, I can respect that. So, surely there were, you literally brought in a Veneta card, so you could play the Veneta card. when you left Veneta, can you tell me about the relationships that might have been damaged by that happening?
Well, you know, Madison Delore and I always got along quite well. I was always a fan of hers growing up. She was an amazing actor. I always very much appreciated her songs, her acting, the way that she presented herself, and the way that she led Clan Veneta. So I don't think I burned any bridges there. I haven't seen her in a minute, so hoping that she's doing well wherever she is. But
so you're heading into combat.
yes,
And behind you, you've got Hemlock, right?
yes.
And it's just you and Hemlock in the room. And no one would know what happened because it was combat. Anything could go wrong. What's going through your head?
Look, what two people do in their private time is their own thing.
That's curses. The time traveler knows me so well. But do you really feel you could trust a Veneta soldier at your back now, and that they can trust you?
Well, my ultimate philosophy on life is you can't always trust everyone in any situation because they haven't been in it yet. So it all kind of depends on what's going on, what way that I could profit off of it, and what way that he could profit off of what is offered to him.
Let's revisit the trolley scenario. The out of control ox cart. So it's speeding toward a Krieg champion. You could change the track and hit a Veneta champion. What's the call?
Oh, that does change things a bit because Krieg has taken my Hex Cup for the past 2 seasons, haven't they?
Oh, I like you.
I think you recall that Team Veneta came in second place the first season. Clan Talum came in second place the second season, very narrowly, being beaten out by Krieg. So it wouldn't break my heart too terribly to see them brought down to my level for once.
Now, I wonder about how much of this is Jacquino himself versus how much of this is the ideals of Malthaor. I like what you said earlier about, you don't know a situation until you've been there. I think that's kind of exactly a Malthaor type thing. You can't go around fantasizing about everything. You've got to just see what happens when it happens and then assess the situation from there. Jacquino, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Real pleasure.
Yes.
Real pleasure.
And, we look forward to seeing what you have to offer. We've seen you in seasons 1 and 2, and we hope to see new things from you in season 3. So, speaking of season 3, it's going to be a little bit different this time around. For example, I've been noticing in a lot of the promotional material, we don't seem to have any guardians. Can you tell me a little bit more about how things are changing?
Yes, well, in the wake of Kesukara's really just poorly thought out plan, there are demons all over Throsha. I don't know if you've noticed.
I did notice there were about 6 just outside when I came in.
Yes.
Were they okay? Were they nice?
I just sort of hid from them, you know.
They were just doing their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I appreciate that. I'll take care of those later.
I mean, it sounds like they were fine. It's just loitering.
So
loitering is not a capital
the Guardians
offense.
and the majority of the clans are quite busy dealing with that. And so for this special, important mission, adventure, what have you, they have selected the very best of their clans to send forth. But the Guardians themselves remain focused with the demonic incursion here in Throsha. And so, filling in, so to speak, I will be advocating for and giving advice to, on occasion, the champions.
So we are going to have the channel be able to open every now and then in the way that we have in the past, but it's mostly just going to be you.
That's correct. It won't be, every 6 seconds. I mean, really, do the champions need that much communication? But yes, the channels will be opened. They won't be alone out there.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Well, so we have a couple questions here. Do we know anything about the upcoming adventures? Now, I know what happens, of course. I know a few different ways that this adventure could go, depending on what the champions do. There's a few different outcomes. But I'm not going to give away. But I understand
You've been real tight-lipped about this. It seems like you could be a real asset.
If you come back in time and you explain what happens in the future, any of the timelines, it's going to mess up the timeline continuum. However, in the future, this time is referred to as the Ugly Deep.
So wait, whatever happens, you're happy enough with it that you're not going to roll the dice on starting a new timeline by telling us what happened?
No. Well, that's not the problem. I mean, I'm back here, right? I'm back here making sure
So
everyone's...
we live long enough to invent time travel, which is pretty good. Mm-hmm. Hex! 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 I hope you're all chanting at home.
I might have just come back in time just to give you a hard time because maybe this show needed someone who would keep us on track. What I am trying to say...
I highly doubt that.
What I am trying to say is that this segment, Season 3, has been in the promotional material often referred to as the Ugly Deep. So I'm assuming that whatever...
I just thought that was Sir Knock's nickname. Hey-o!
I'm
Please don't
assuming
hurt
that
me.
whatever adventure they're going on, it's going to be a bit salty. Because it's in the ocean.
And full of tears.
I think that's a fair assessment.
I hope our adventurers won't be too salty about it.
But I tell you what, Wendy, from my perspective...
It's windy.
Thank you, Phil.
It's windy. Windy.
Windy. We're saying windy.
Windy.
From my perspective,
Windy.
the outcome of this incredibly dangerous quest that they are going to be going on, it's all up to the citizens of Trosha and the boons that they use to support their champions.
Excellent. So speaking of these boons, let's talk about them. Now, we are in... I mean, I'm here to do the very awkward segues. You know, someone's going to say something and I'm going to say that.
Windy. Let's talk about boons.
So first of all, I'm going to ask you about is your favourite clan, and then I'm going to ask you who is your favourite champion. But I'm actually going to ignore that second question like I did earlier, and let's talk about boons. Nock, I know you're wanting to talk about other things, but I want to talk about boons. Do you understand?
Boons.
Anyway.
Yes, I think we should talk about boons.
So, Trosha is in association with an organisation called the Hive Collaborative. Now, the Hive Collaborative has all kinds of different shows. It is a wonderful space in the town of Provo, Utah, and they have all kinds of different... They had the 10 show very recently, and boons are a means that the Hive Collaborative uses for all sorts of shows that they're on. Now, in the...
Playana has gifted us a microphone.
Playana has taken one microphone and gifted us another. So, for example, with the 10 show, you were able to go onto the Hive Channel 5 website and use boons as a way of voting for different shows that you liked. Now, in the world of Into the Hex, boons are going to be sort of the in-world currency for how people can buy things within the world, and how the citizens of Trosha can interact in live real time with what's happening in the adventure.
Yeah, we all remember between the time of the Ides and Pleiana and the Kesukara Rebellion, there was a time of peace. And you remember there was that acting company that put on Trosha's Got Talent, and this was sort of a way for everyone to interact with them. It's similar to that, but also quite different, because now not only do you use your boons to establish who your favorite of the champions is, but it is also a way that you can literally help them on their quest. And so your boons become energy that can form into weapons, into potions, into magical effects. These are things that will affect the adventures of the champions directly.
It's true. You could say that these champions, their lives are in the hands of the citizens of Trosha, because it is dependent on them to award boons to the champions. Like you said, it's potions, it's weapons, it's rests. These are things that are essential for the survival of these champions.
But Sir Knock, how do they get boons?
Well, the citizens of Trosha.
Sir Knock, I need to know, how do they get boons?
The citizens of Trosha.
Sir Knock, if I'm a citizen of Trosha that needs to get a boon and I don't know how to do it, what do I do?
You go to hivechannel5.com and you purchase boons. Any citizen of Trosha who subscribes to hivechannel5.com will get boons. Any citizen of Trosha...
Not the X!
No, I'm just going to protect... I'm just holding this for comfort.
Good call.
To protect myself.
I'm really
Any
relying on this
citizen of
immortality
Trosha
bluff I've
who
been running
purchases a ticket and joins us in person here at the Hive Theater, or the Hex, what have you, will have boons to spend. And any citizen of Throcia can purchase additional boons at any time at HiveChannel5.com.
Excellent. So boons are they're all kinds of things, but essentially, if we're being very blunt about it, they are online votes. And when you go to Hive Channel 5, you can either become a subscriber, which gives you, please subscribe. It gives you a certain number of boons, but you can also get more and more boons. So if you're watching live and they say, hey, if you go on and you use boons, you can pay to give your favourite adventurer a healing potion. Or I'm saying it that way. It might not actually happen that way, but for example, you can use these boons to help live. But especially at the end of the adventure, the live audience and the citizens that are watching online have a way of voting for who they believe champion the night. And boons are going to be a major factor. Exactly so.
Hey,
for
Onan
example,
got it.
Onan has 2 boons here in our example, Delia.
Oh, it's a narrow race.
We can watch these
This doesn't look rigged
change,
at all.
over the course of the weeks, and so these will change. You usually have a few days to be able to vote for your favourites. We have quite a tie right now, except no love for Venator. That's all right.
Now, favorite bagel, if I can just cut in and answer your question of where's the Hive Theater. If you want to come in person to see us, we're at 591 South, 300 West in Provo, and we'd love to see you. If you come right now, the doors are locked. We don't want you here right now.
Do not come right now.
Do not come right now.
Do not come right now.
If you want to wait for us outside to beat us up, I get it. Although, speaking of boons, if you want to, okay, Playana might kill me for saying this, but one of the boons, I have it on good authority, makes me apologize to one of the players. So if you're fantasizing
This is the best boon.
about watching
you must
me eat
buy
crow,
this boon.
that's literally something that you can make happen. Oh, maybe Krella will organically apologize. Are you kidding me?
It is not in his nature.
It is not in my
But
nature.
there are all kinds of boons. You know, you can obviously have apology grounds, as we have demonstrated, but there are all kinds of systems. And in the greater network of the Hive Collaborative, with a lot of the other shows that they produce, boons are a way of interacting with all the different shows. Hive Collaborative is a wonderful organisation, and the reason it is collaborative, that's in the title, is because they bring together all kinds of different people and shows and productions, and they're always trying new things, and boons are their way of reaching out to you and for you to be able to participate in all these amazing different things that they have to offer. And so they're not just for Into the Hex. You can also use them in all the other different shows. There are some more coming up. I have it on good authority that there is going to be a season 2 of the 10 show, and I know that boons are going to be very important for that as well.
That's and so if anything we've said tonight has piqued your interest, go subscribe right now. Subscribing is free.
And you get special things.
So go to HiveChannel5.com, and then the other thing, unless I lied, but I think subscribing is free. Find out. If it asked for your credit card number, it wasn't as free as I thought. Right?
Subscribing is free.
Subscribing is free. Okay, we did it. We won. We did it. We got to make subscribing free. Okay, the other thing, someone asked this earlier on the channel, and I just totally forgot about it until this moment. If you want to catch up on seasons 1 and 2, they are going to be airing on this Twitch channel. What you are watching right now, come back here on, oh boy, Mondays and Tuesdays, and you'll be able to see seasons 1 and 2 in reruns. You can catch up in the storyline, you can see what we're all about. But honestly, if anything we've said here tonight has caught your attention, subscribe. Come hang out with us. We're a fun bunch, except for one of us. And you all know the one that annoys you the most at this table. Doesn't need to be said.
It's me, and I understand.
We all know who it is.
Now, you talk about subscribing on Hive Channel 5, which is very, very important. But to those of you who are watching, we often refer to the citizens of Throcia. Now, if you subscribe on our Twitch channel, that makes you a citizen of Throcia. It is sort of a virtual passport, if you will. It is a way of joining us and joining our quest and joining this wonderful world and finding a way of doing your part and staying connected. Now, we will be rerunning all the different seasons and shows that we have. You can watch them on YouTube. I believe we will be rerunning them on our Twitch channel as well. I have that confirmed. Yes, we are going to be rerunning them there. And hopefully there will be all sorts of kinds of things. We are going to have more, we hope to have more episodes of this Hex Center tonight, in which we will talk about the different homebrews that we've made, the things that have happened, and we will also be recapping all the different episodes that happen there. But
they're not homebrews, they're hex brews.
Hex brews, my bed, of course. But the hex
Your
is
bed.
our home.
Why are you talking about your bed? You said my bed.
It's windy. It's windy. Anyway.
Your windy bed?
I'm not going to talk about that. Anyway, so if you follow us on Twitch, you can follow us anywhere. Now, I'm not encouraging you to be a stalker per se, but please check us out on Facebook. You can look for Into the Hex, but of course, all of this is under the umbrella of the Hive Collaborative. We have Instagram, we have a Twitch, we have Facebook, and these are all places in which we post a lot of the same social media, but a lot of the media we post is exclusive to those different places. So please go check all of them out.
So there's a pretty big difference in our format in Season 3 that we haven't really covered as much yet, too, that I actually think we should. We're doing you, Dudger Do says they love Windy. So, settles it.
Did they say windy or did they say
They said
windy?
Windy.
My name is spelled W-E-N-D-Y.
I heard I. So last season, actually both seasons 1 and 2, we had 4 champions come in that have a little adventure, they'd leave. 4 more champions come in, they have a little adventure, they'd leave at the end. The 4 greatest champions, as selected by the citizens of Throsia, would then come back for oh, we're going to help our guardians, and they're like, oh, power, yeah, together, hex. That's not at all how it's going to work this season, is it, Sir Knock?
That's correct, Corello.
I did it! Hex! 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 Wait, then how is it going to work?
You know, when you're very sad inside, it's very helpful to psych yourself up all the time. It helps fill how empty you are. Anyway, keep going, Sir.
I'm a hollow pit of sadness. Sorry, Sir Knock.
So instead of switching out our champions from weekend to weekend, we're going to keep our champions out there for as long as we possibly can. And so at the end of each weekend, one champion will be asked to return to the struggle here in Throsia against the demonic incursion. So that will be the champion with the least boons.
So what you're saying is return, though. So they're going to be leaving the adventure that we are having here in the Hex.
That's correct.
So they're not going to be a part of the adventure anymore. So we're going to be down one hero.
How are we going to select which champion comes back to the Hex and doesn't go on the next adventure?
So it will be determined by boons.
What?
Yes.
It's your choice?
It is.
I already knew that. I was helping the
excellent segue.
Thank you.
The rest of the champions, however,
I'm a time traveler. It's only the first episode.
The rest of the champions will remain from week to week. And so you will see them increase in power, and I mean, really, they could stay on for the entire quest.
But we're always going to have one leave and one come back, switch them out.
We grade on a curve.
That's correct. So we have champions selected and waiting to replace each of the champions in each of the clans.
Excellent. Well, I think we're coming towards some of the end of our time. Again, make sure to check us out on almost all social media platforms. We can be found at Hive Tix. Now that's Tix with an X. So I'm going to try to speak this very clearly. @ HIVETIX. Hive Tix. So that's on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those places are generally where we are found. Now, if you're watching this, I'm assuming that you have found us on at least one social media platform, and so that's a pretty good guide as to how we can find them. So once again, my name is Wendy, and I have come from the future in order to help all of you learn more about this wonderful place of Throsia and learn all about the adventures of the Hex, because what you lot do as citizens of Throsia has a great impact on the future, and I'm here to make sure that future is the best one that we can have.
And there's Silver Buddha actually said that someone named Wendy is their new favorite. I'm not sure who they're referring to, but I'm glad to know that I was your favorite.
Oh, it's
Silver Buddha.
They probably meant to say Windy.
Oh, did you misspell Windy?
Yeah, they're talking about you.
It's okay.
We are debating my name. Let's learn more about your names.
Before we sign out, everyone drop in chat that I'm your favorite. Say Corello's my favorite. Do it. Hurry.
So that's Corello, and this is
Corello, and I'm Sir Knock.
Thank you guys so much for joining us on
Hurry,
Hex
drop my
Center
name in
tonight.
chat. You can do it.
This has been an attempt at Hex Center tonight.
Yes.
love you.
Hi, my name's Nathan Agle, and here's how to subscribe to HiveChannel5.com so that way you can vote. Subscriptions are free, and no credit card info is required to subscribe or to vote. What's more, you'll get 5 free boons each month that you can use to vote. You can always get more in our boon store. However, we want to keep the voting fair, so we've created the subscription option, which involves email verification. We're working to streamline the process, but for now, think of it as an adventure. You ready? Let's go. First, you go to HiveChannel5.com and then click on this yellow subscribe and vote button at the top of the page. It will take you to this page, which adds a subscriber item to your shopping cart when you click the Sign Up Now button. Now that the subscriber item has been added to your cart, you can click the View Cart button. Now you can see the subscriber item in your shopping cart. You'll see the subscriber item is listed and it is for free and will renew on a monthly basis, once again for free. And you can cancel at any time. So next we'll click the Proceed to Checkout at the bottom of the screen. This takes you to the checkout screen, where you'll enter your information and create your password, your username, which can be the same as your email address if you'd like. Once you've entered your info, click the Sign Up Now button. At this point, the system will send you a verification email, typically within the first few minutes. Click on your email address verification link to confirm your email address and to be logged in. Once you're logged in, you'll have 5 free boons you can use to vote. Look for open polls that you can vote on at HiveChannel5.com. And if you use up all your boons and you want to buy more, you can do that at the Boon Store as well. Well done, adventure, and thank you for your support of the Hive Collaborative. We look forward to seeing your votes.